outdoors, sometimes it is over the city. So we're just here. It is sunrise right now. You can see that little poking up over there. I'm going to try to set this on the dash here. So we got our trusty Dasho cam, Dasho phone. There we go. That is close. If I can get this to sit right, I need something in here to get this to nudge, a piece of tissue or something. I might be able to get this to work. And we have sunrise over the city. So again, as we were saying, it's not always about these beautiful lake views. Van life it varies. It's different. It's going to be different in different days. I'm probably going to be here for a few minutes today. Turn the car off there. Last night, I actually stayed at like a commuter parking place, like a park and ride by the highway. It was fine. It's a free place to park. Just a little park and ride there. I was just there for a few hours. Oh my goodness, it fell. Take that back up. Take that back up. Okay, there we go. Let me get this thing to rest here. On the dash. There you go. There we go. So, yeah, like I said, sometimes it's not glamorous. Sometimes you're just by the highway. Sometimes you're just on the road. Okay? That's all you get is just being on the road a little bit. But that's part of what it's about. It's the different places. And when you're in a little place like this, you're just in some town. I'm a little outside of St. Louis. And, I drove and I just, this is where it was. This is where to be. Actually, on a positive note, YouTube, I have some good news. My dating life has improved a little bit. I met somebody, so that's part of why I'm here. I met a really wonderful person. They're better at racing motorcycles in the arcade than I am. They have a little arcade game with the motorcycles, and they beat me a lot. And they're better at it than me. So I found that out. They're a really sweet person. Hoping to see them again today since I'm in town. See how things go. Good morning. Welcome to chat. We're just watching sunrise over the city here. I'm in St. Clair, a little outside of St. Louis. And I just wanted to show some contrast here of being over the city and in the city to being over a lake and in nature. So van life is, it's always about being somewhere new and somewhere different. That's part of the thing. You never know where you're going to be. You're going to wake up. Is it going to be on a beach? Is it going to be in the forest? Is it going to be on a mountain in the desert where you're going to be? Or are you going to be someplace you parked by the highway on your way somewhere else? So, just sunrise over St. Clair. We're right off of I-44 here. We're on historic Route 66. So I was born on Route 66, and I've spent a good portion of my life on or near Route 66. Been really good to me over the years. As I was saying, my dating life has improved. I got to go on a date last night. It was really cool. And I got beat at racing the video game arcade bikes. They were better at it than me. She's a lovely young woman. I don't want to say too much about her, but it was good to get out and do something fun and just be around somebody and have, just a little, lift my heart a little. I'm really glad for that today. I got to go out with somebody yesterday. I hope I get to go out with them again today. We're definitely on our journey. Yesterday I was in Oklahoma. Today I'm in Missouri, but I'm up by St. Louis. Tomorrow I'm not sure. I might be here again. I might be back on the farm briefly to take care of some things. I might be on my way to Florida or somewhere else. I think, really glad for this van. Really glad for the new van. It's got a lot of stuff in it I really like. New features, getting used to how it drives. It needs some stuff for sure. It's a high mileage van, but if I'll take care of it and not put the pedal to the metal so much and take it easy, it'll last a while. Change the oil, check the transmission fluid, all that good stuff. So. Yeah, I just wanted to share the sunrise with you all. And again, again, it's always different. You never know where you're going to be. I mean, you can plan your trips, but even last night, I went to two different campgrounds around here. There were two different campgrounds on my map. I went to one of them and it's locked gated and says day access only. It's not a campground. The other one I went to, like, wasn't a campground at all. It was a housing development. It was like they had a man-made lake and some trails around it with houses on it, right, kind of thing. So I could, right. So even though I was gonna go to a campground next to a little lake last night, I ended up at a commuter parking spot just so that I had somewhere to be safe. I could park. I love the remote start on my van. I love being able to be in the back of the van, under my covers. Hello, chat. Is that Thomas? It's good to meet you, Thomas. Welcome to chat. Just enjoying the sunrise this morning. So. Anyway, it's just different worrying about this van. I'd be back in the back. I can be under my covers. I can have blankets over my head, be all tucked in warm, and it starts to get cold because I got down like 19 or 20 last night. A little bit cold. It's like 24 now. Fahrenheit. That's chilly. Hello to Puma. Hello, Puma. How are you? So, but being in there, I can lay under the covers, my head under the cover, be all warm. It starts to get chilly. Oh, my toes are getting cold. And I just reach over and go, click, click, and the car starts. And like 5 or 6 minutes later, it gets all warm. Hello, Puma. Hi, Puma. How are you, 987? Is that 987 or 1987? So, but yeah, I really like that. Just, in and of itself, is because it is usually, I'm really tucked in here. It's got pretty good insulation. I'm up off the ground, so I only have to start the car once or twice to stay warm on most nights. So it's really nice having that remote start. Or, like I said, start it once at night. Like last night, I started about 4 o'clock. I was like, click, click, turn that car on. Got cold. All right, and let it run for about 10 minutes, turn it off, warm back up. And then this morning at like 6:30, 6:45, about an hour ago, I turned it on again before I got up and got over into the driver's seat. So if you're van life, if you're traveling, you're doing a conversion van, I would really look into investing in that remote start feature. It's really handy. It's nice to have because you can go ahead and go in there and be like, click, click, and boom, you're warm again. It keeps it going. So it's nice to have. Work-life balance. They say that's the thing. Balancing your work life and your everything else, what you're doing. I'm just going to do a little breathing and say some gratitude. I don't know if, I have to accept the possibility that the whole universe was randomly, spontaneously created, just existed. Okay, maybe. But I think, like most people, there probably was some kind of creator, a first mover, if you will. Right? So today I just want to give thanks to the Creator for every day I had before this one. And if today is the day that the Creator has chosen for me to meet them, then there is no better day than today for me to die. Nekanula hoing mawana. I'll face today's challenges with courage and dignity. That's Navajo. I'm probably saying it wrong, because I don't really speak Navajo, but that's what I heard it was. It's not a calling for death. It's not a death wish. It's appreciation for what you've had and humility. It's I try to think that way, that there's some kind of plan, some kind of creator, some kind of will to the universe, maybe. I can't say if there is or not. That's not for me to know. But when I look at things like the molecular structure of cells, and I look at how a cell works in the body or an animal or a plant, and I look at the electrical action between the molecules and the systems in it, and the physical kinetic, physical movements, the machines of those cells, I can't help but think that there's some kind of, you know, some kind of design to it, some kind of pattern. Yes, it's possible something that complex could emerge. It just doesn't seem very likely. So, I don't know what you think the universe came from, and I'm not judging anybody. It's just my opinion. I'm just one person. It's my opinion. I try not to get too religious here, but I'm a spiritual person. We're talking about some reflection and some guidance. And when I look at the sunrise, it's full moon. I could maybe get a shot of it. It's really hard to see from here. It's like behind me. Um, I look at things like, an eclipse. The moon is exactly 1/400th of the sun's size, and the sun is exactly 400 times away. So it lines up perfect. That's a pretty neat coincidence. And maybe it is a coincidence. Maybe that's just an interesting natural phenomenon that we can only experience this way in our lifetimes, because 10,000 years ago it was night in the day, and in 10,000 years it won't be the same. It's only in our lifetimes that an eclipse is as magical, as impactful as it is. They say a coincidence is just, two things happening at the same time. Coincidence. But a series of coincidences may lead to a broader pattern and bear weight of investigation. So, yeah, it comforts me to believe in something. I don't always understand it. Sometimes I'm very resentful. Sometimes I'm very upset with the path I'm on because I don't understand it. And I look at the paths other people are on, and I don't think other people really want to live my life, and I don't want to live there. I think that's the one, is like everybody seems to think I want to be like them. I want to live their life and get money in a big house and stuff. And it's like, I don't. And then they don't understand that I live my life completely outside of that, and don't expect them for me to want what I have. I celebrate our differences, I celebrate our differences in lifestyle and opinion and outlooks. We're all this way. We're all the way we are because of who we are, because of how we've lived. What made us this way. So wherever you are in your path in life, I've been in the worst places a person can be. Absolutely destitute, dirty, broke, no money, nowhere to live, barely a blanket, if that, maybe a backpack, nothing, nothing. It's my life. I mean, they say rock bottom, right? I don't know if I've been there. I think a lot of people would say I have, even when I was It was just, you know, to endure until I got to a better place. So wherever you are in life with your struggles, with whatever you're facing, whatever challenges, it can get better. Your life can get better. You have to make the changes. You can't expect everything to happen the way you want when you want. You can't expect it to work out always the way you think it's going to. I thought going to college, I'd get this degree and get a couple of bucks, and I'd get this game company going, and now here I am years later, and I have land in the middle of nowhere, and I've got, um, I've got cars and vehicles. I've got all these degrees. I've done advanced research on highly technical projects. I never expected to be here. I never expected to be living the life I'm living now. And it has been a struggle. It's been up and down. Every time I face a challenge and overcome an obstacle, there's another one in my way. There's something else to deal with. And that's, I think, the hard part of life is understanding that you're never really done with your challenges. There's always going to be something else to deal with. And it just gets a little easier and a little better to handle that, to cope, to understand, to manage, right? Whatever it is, whatever you're trying to deal with. So I think some people are out there and they get real flustered and puff up their chests and talk about this and that. And it's like, it just tells me that their challenges in life are going to come when they get old. Right? And maybe your life is one that has a lot of challenges and somebody else's life doesn't have very many. That doesn't seem fair. It's probably not fair. That's why they say comparison is the enemy of contentment and happiness. You gotta live your life for you. Not worry about other people and what they're doing or what they think. That's one of the hardest ones because we are social creatures. And what other people think of us does matter. We can pretend it doesn't, but if you're completely and absolutely blocking out everybody else and not letting their opinion or get to you at all, you're not being very open. Sounds like a narcissist, right? You want to be a narcissist? You know, that's not me. I don't want to be, you know. So we do. We affect each other, whether it's a smile from somebody at the grocery store or a scowl from somebody on the road, you know, honking their horn at you. You know, it affects you a little bit. I think the best way to deal with that is to just put out as much positive energy as you can. Be, right? And it's tiring. Wears you out. But I can sit here today and say that. I get to sit here today and be the one sharing that with you. I suppose that's something. Hello, Chad. Who do we have? I cannot see your name there. I cannot see what your name is. I do see it says hi. Is that Kennedy? Hi, Kennedy. I think you've been in here before, Kennedy. How are you? I think I recognize you. How are you? Hey. How is your morning? Can you tell us how your morning is? Is it sunrise where you are? I'm only going to be on here another couple of minutes, so. I thought I recognized your name. I'm only going to be on here another minute or so. If I can get my polarizer in here, I'll see if I can get this to do the thing. There we go. Polarized done right good. There we go. That's good. So, yeah, it's just, that's where we're at this morning. I'm just over the city. Yesterday I was at the lake. Today I'm over the city. It's always different, you know. It's always a different experience. It's always a different morning, a different view. And that's what van life is about, you know. And that's what I was saying. You know, I've got a place out in the country. It's not the nicest. It's not the greatest. It needs a lot of work before it's really, you know, a home, right? It's home, but it's not like a modern house yet, right? It's not quite there. We're still working on it. That's what homesteading's about. But I have the opportunity now to get in this van and travel and enjoy the world and share it with you. So that's what I'm doing. Is here you go. Sunrise over St. Clair. If you didn't hear earlier, I'm kind of excited. I went on a date last night with a lovely young woman. We went to the arcade and played pinball, and we raced the motorcycles in the arcade, and she's way better at it than I am. She beat me a lot. She got in first. I was fifth, a bunch. So, no shame. Not at all. Got beat by a girl. I joke. Girls are good at stuff too. I'm just kidding. Still, it was good. It was good to get out and do something fun with somebody and lift my heart a little bit. I've been, if you follow the channel, I've been cooped up at the farm for a long time and not a lot of contacts. I've been talking to her online for the last month or so, and we were going to go out on New Year's, and she had something came up with her kids, so we got to go out last night. It was cool. We're hoping to go out again today, maybe. She's feeling up to it. I think she had a little bit of a cold. She went out anyway. She had a little bit of a cold. She went out anyway. And she's really sweet. She's a really sweet person. Good morning, YouTube. Sunrise over the city, over St. Clair. I don't know where I'll be tomorrow. I don't know when my next live stream is going to be. That's the point. Oh my God. I can't see anything. And that's why we need them. Van life, YouTube. Van life. I'll see you guys. You have a good one.